Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to go through a recent commission. It is a fox commission with 6 tails. So this one is sold, but there are more dolls in my shop on my website, creaturesofnat.com. So stay tuned. So as usual, I'm starting off with my resin pieces that I have sculpted, molded and cast in resin, and the customer wanted some glass eyes that were the same as what was in my stag Olmec, and it was a little bit different because this is one of my older sculpts. It is, you know, one of the very first ones that I did, so it wasn't made to have glass eyes, so I did a little experiment and the glass eyes actually turned out really well in this. But I am thinking of upgrading my fox sculpt soon because this one's very old. And I am looking at doing a new wolf sculpt as well because the mold on that is pretty much coming to the end of its life. So looking at upgrading the fox and the wolf sculpt. So what I've done there is I've painted the resin with some acrylic water-based paint, and I have primed all of my resin pieces before I painted it with just a primer that's for canvases really, but it works really great on this resin pieces. I do have a primer video coming up. I just have to find some time to edit it and film the rest of it. So yeah, if you're wondering what primer I use, there is a video coming out. I just don't have a lot of time. So the same deal with the paws for this fox sculpt as well. So it's a resin cast that I have sculpted and molded and then cast in resin, and I will look at upgrading those feet too. Moving on to the fur, and I'll be using this Mongolian faux fur in this really nice aqua blue colour. I don't know if it's like a sea blue. But yeah, the customer chose this particular colour with some white accents as well. So I'm just cutting out the 6 tails that the fox has, and they need to be quite small, otherwise the doll will be a little back heavy, and you don't really want that because you don't want the doll to fall back on its tail all the time. So I had to make them smaller than usual. Usually I do big fluffy tails on a lot of my fox and wolf dolls, but this time I had to do something a lot thinner than that. So as the customer wanted the white accents, I'm using the same Mongolian faux fur in a white colour this time. And this is a tad bit curlier, but it's a really nice clean white colour. You can get whites that are sort of like a creamy colour. I don't really like when I get whites like that, but this one's a nice, clean white colour. And the fox is going to have a white underbelly as well, so I've drawn out those underbelly patterns and the tips of the tails. So I'm just cutting them out using a small pair of sharp scissors, just so I don't cut the pile of the fur. So once I've cut all these out, I then go ahead and sew it up on the sewing machine. And I like to use the sewing machine because I find it a lot sturdier and a lot quicker than hand sewing things. So I usually just leave the back end open, and that way I can flip the body the right way around. So I'm just going to go over and check that everything's sewn up, and then if I've missed a little opening or something, I'm going to go back over and sew that shut. So I could see that there was a little opening that I'd missed on the where the legs join together, so I'm going to go back over that. I also leave the legs open just so I can again put that fabric back on itself, so I can get that right way around and it's not an eternal struggle. So here's what we have when we have flipped the fabric the right way around. It just looks like a fluffy mess, but nothing a little bit of trimming can't fix. And this particular doll is going to have a wire armature with 6 tails. So in the meantime, I've made the wire armature. I will have a tutorial. It will be a paid tutorial coming up in my shop on how to make wire armatures. So I am working on it at the moment, so stay tuned for that. And I'm also working on 4 other tutorials, I believe. So they will all be paid tutorials, and hopefully they will have come in a pack as well, which have a little bit of discount. So once I've put the armature inside and attached the resin pieces, I then go around and sew up all the open ends using a ladder stitch. And I have a ladder stitch video on my channel, which you can check out how to use. It is for faux fur, because I know there's a lot of ladder stitches for felt, on YouTube, but this one is for faux fur, so there's a couple of other tips to keep in mind when you're sewing faux fur. So once I've sewn all the loose ends up and I'm happy that they're all tight and sewn together, I just go over and just check that everything is tightly sewn, and then I go ahead and attach the faux fur to the resin using a tacky fabric glue. And this fabric glue I get from Spotlight here in Australia, and you can find this type of glue anywhere in any local craft store. It's nothing special. So yeah, if you're in Australia, Spotlight has this fabric glue which will attach fur to resin really well in a quick amount of time. And I usually leave this particular glue to sit for just overnight so I know it has dried properly and adhered properly. So after I've done that, I go ahead and attach the fur to all of the resin pieces. So this is what it looks like before I've added any shading or anything else. All I've done is trimmed it. And again, I'm still not sure if I'm going to release the furring tutorials. I'm not sure. I'm not anytime soon. I have to say it won't be part of the pack as well. So the customer wanted a couple of little add-ons, which were some jewels on the face, and we both decided to go for something that was complementary to the eyes and the fur, the blue on the fur as well. So we went for this nice in-between blue colour. So we've added them on the face, and this is what the final result is. And that is it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. If you have any video requests, you can leave it in the comments down below. You can also check me out on Instagram and Facebook at Creatures of Nat, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!